Welcome to my channel, guys. Today we're going to be working on Triumph Tiger 1050's clutch plate replacement. My bike's been giving me a bit of trouble on the higher 4,000 plus RPMs. The clutch starts to let go. It slips really bad. So I pulled out the clutch plates earlier and saw that they were way below spec. They were under 3.2. The minimum spec is actually 3.22 mils, and they were below 3 mils, so they're shot. So today, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the oil, the screw, the bolt, 13 mil bolt. Too tight, too tight. There we go. So to take the oil out, we're gonna remove this 13 mil bolt and let the oil drop, because the clutch has been burning and the oil's all black anyway. I need to change it. Oh, actually, that is not. I stand corrected. Last time it turned out to be real crap, so when I checked the plates and put the oil back in, the oil was absolutely black. Today it seems to be a lot better, but I already have oil. My bike's done 32,000 K so far, guys, and I don't know, maybe the previous owner had some issues with it or not, or maybe he was a half clutch rider. It's definitely worn out. So let's take off these screws first. Two, three. We cannot take the clutch basket cover without removing all this, because there's one screw, that's the one bolt that's hidden behind there, behind this casing, and the only way to get to that is once all this cover comes off. And watch out for these sneaky washers that sit behind there. My gaskets are still fine, so I'm gonna use those. For these clutch plates, I had to wait 2.5 weeks, and had them ordered from the United States. In Canada, I was told they don't have the part and they don't know when it's going to be coming in. That was it. So just to make it work, I ordered what I could find. I wanted a genuine clutch, but what I could find was EBC Brakes clutch kit. If you guys want, I'll put the link in the description for the website and even the part number if you want to purchase this. It was all up about 120 bucks Canadian. Took a while to get delivered. I couldn't find the springs, which are also recommended to be changed when you change the clutch. Most of these bolts are the same size on this side, so you got to watch out for this particular one, because there's an opening in there you don't want to drop. And even though you could recover it because it's only going to go in the casing, but why chance it? Okay, this off. And now there's one on top for the clutch cable. Okay, now there's two, because I've got the small little engine guard thingy here. Where's my Allen key? Grab the Allen. What is it? 5 mil or 6 mil? This is a 5 mil Allen screw here, but you might not have this. You might have just straight simple bolts. These are longer bolts for extra engine protection. previous owner had put these on. I actually opted for the heat bars, but I still kept these just because they're there and I don't have to go hunt down new bolts for this. Okay, keep the area clear. Now there's one more screw here. A bolt. I keep calling them screws, guys. Sorry, my apologies. Just screwing up, pun intended. Okay, let's just take this off, and it comes off. And now, gotta say this again, I do not have the gasket. I couldn't get them. They don't have them in stock. I don't know what they keep in stock these days, but so my gasket is still intact, and hopefully till they can get it in order, I should be able to just use this one without any leaks. Fingers crossed. All right, now we go on to this one. Crack it open. These bolts are not very tight. They're supposed to be only 9 or 10 Newton meters. That's it. Oh, one of the dowel pins came out. I should just keep it there. And take them up for now. Like clutch basket cover bolts have this space on the top of the bolts, recess, as compared to the timing ones. You see, they're two different ones, just in case you guys get confused with it. This one is for the clutch basket. You can put them separate and take this off. All right, 2 and whatever many more to go. There's quite a few bolts here, guys. Takes a while. It's not a hard job, it just takes time. Okay, more down. If you want to share how long did your stock clutch last, please feel free to leave a comment below. So I always check my comments and I always reply back. If you have any questions about any torque specs, you gotta push the lever down for this one. If you have any questions about any torque specs or anything you need help with on this job, please feel free. I always try to reply back and help as much as I can. And when you take this off, please keep an eye for this washer that's supposed to be there. And this washer is actually supposed to be bent like this. So don't be warned if you see this and think, oh, someone put a crooked washer in there. No, that's the design of it. Take this off, keep plugging them away. Alrighty. Now that the pin's free. Oh. There we go. It came off easy on mine because I had opened it not long ago, but if you're doing it for the first time, you're gonna have to pry it. This is not good. Look at the sludge, guys. The sludge that's formed. There was nothing like that before. It's literally formed in whatever 120 odd Ks that I put on it. Okay, so here's the clutch. Away from here before I lose it, and the orientation of dowel pin right there. The dowel pin came off, so it just goes back in there. Put the casing back down there, and now we need to take off the spring bolts, the clutch basket that's being held by these 5 bolts. Make sure you pay attention to the orientation of the front plate. The first plate doesn't sit in the right exact same grooves as the rest of the friction plates and steel plates, but I'll show you in a minute what goes on there. This, I believe, is a size 10. Not. Okay, let's go size 10. Open, 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 open. And now let's get it out. Alright, so now ideally, if you can get your hands on new springs or even heavy duty springs, please change them when you change the clutch, because it makes a lot of difference. But because of the pandemic or stock or whatever issues they had at the dealership, I could not have these or the clutch kit or nothing, and even online I couldn't find them. So plus I am in a rush to get the bike going. Summer's here, doesn't last for too long in Canada, so I want to get it going. Okay, so this last clutch plate sits in these shallow grooves. I'm just going to show you this here. These shallow grooves. All the other ones drop in these deep ones. The last one goes into the shallow one, because this is the common mistake that a lot of people make. I did it too. And now when we pull out, oh, there's a bit of gunk in there, whatever that is, burnt out clutch maybe. Clean it up as well as you can. And pull them out. Now you got to remember the orientation of your plates and your steel plates, because steel plates specifically, there's 2 different kinds of plates. Ones that are over 2 mils, I think it's 2.5 mil precise, the thickness of them, and the other ones are 1.55. so there's 2 thicknesses, and they go in a certain order. So take them out, stack them on the same way you're taking the clutch out, and the last ones we have to fish those out. Where's the pick? There's the pick tool. Let's see if it comes out with any ease at all. The other one on top. This one here. Alright. So we got these 2. And the second last. And now the biggest pain of all, the last one. There we go. All the plates are out. Those rings, there's 2 rings in there that stay there. Don't take them out and leave them in there. And now the plates difference. Okay, I'll show you the friction plate difference. If you can tell, there's the thicker, wider plate and a thinner plate, but I think their height is different too. If you see the height of this, these ones are smaller. So the smaller one, there's only 2 of those in a package. The smallest one goes right at the back, number 18 I believe it is, and then it'll be the last one on top of the whole stack. In between are these longer, thicker ones, and these wider, short ones will be the first and the last. Okay, and these plates, I think, let me grab a micrometer so I can actually see which plate goes where, how many deep, how many up. You have to have a certain thickness. Or actually I wrote it down somewhere too, or took a picture or something. Where is it? Okay, so what we're gonna do is grab our, oh, actually another big thing, guys, I forgot to say this beforehand. It's even on the box of the clutch, they say always, it's somewhere here, it's best to fit new clutch spring each time. They're saying the same thing. Where is it? Blah 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 blah. Oh, there you go. The clutch plates are a cork-based material similar to original equipment and must be soaked for a few hours in the manufacturer's recommended drive case oil before installation. So that's exactly what we did here. We have put our plates in the oil overnight, so it's been good 14 hours they've been sitting there, and now we're just gonna start putting them back in. But remember, if you don't do it, the reason for doing this is basically that the plates will get dry and over time they'll start to burn. They need to be soaked in to function properly, or you will have a whole different set of problems where people, you might have seen a lot of videos on YouTube where people are saying you have to take out the plates, soak them in, because they're not held, you know, they're not holding a lot of oil on it and they're getting hot. They need to be soaked in. Once you do this process, they should be good. So now we're putting our first plate, which was supposed to be the smaller one, and now, sorry, I need to see which one is it. Yeah, there's the other one, and these all go in here. So sorry guys, I'm just talking to myself. So I need to put these on the side there. They're holding a lot of oil. Well, let's just stack it on top of the basket here for now. We'll clean that bit later. Okay, the first plate goes to the side. Now, one friction plate, one steel plate. This first steel plate is supposed to be 1.55 mils. What I would recommend is you just take out the clutch and stack it on the exact same way the plates are supposed to be, and then you won't have any problems. You put in one new plate in, one steel plate, because that's probably the best way to actually have no issues with the thickness. But even if you do, I'll tell you, first two steel plates are supposed to be 1.55 mils, and then after that it's supposed to be 2.5 mils, I think it is. So now comes the bigger, thicker plate, steel plate. Yeah, very, sorry, my arm is going in front of the camera. The difference is so minute, unless you use your micrometer, you can't really tell which one's thicker, which one's thinner. Or you can maybe throw them on a small scale and see the weight, because obviously the thicker one will have a bigger weight. And there's, as far as I can see, there's no orientation of these, which side is front or back. You can throw them whichever way in. And with the EBC clutch plates, it's the same thing. But on the stock, when I took them off and I put them back on, the stock ones had these numbers or markings. So I put them facing towards me. It just seemed like a good idea. But with EBC, you just have to put them in whichever way. There's no markings on these. There's no letters, no numbers. You can just stack them in. But I've seen a few people on YouTube swear by EBC clutch plates, saying that, you know, they are as good as OEM, or if not better. So I took a leap of faith and put these ones in, and let's see how well they go. Okay, another steel plate. After putting 4 thick ones, guys, the last ones are supposed to be another 3 thin ones. You're going back to 1.55 mils and keep putting them in until it's all stacked in. Okay, now we're on to our last steel plate. Put that in, and now you gotta save your thinner clutch plate back. Not thinner, I don't know how to describe it, but this thickness is smaller than the other. The only two plates that are less thicker fatness wise, I'd say, or maybe just probably width, right? I don't know. If you guys go, and sorry, another thing, now this is the last plate. It needs to go not in these grooves, just in these shallow grooves here. So this is how you pack it in. The last one done. Got too much oil on my hands right now. Okay, I guess I could have taken the pin out, but didn't really need to. I did it the last time, realized I didn't need it. Okay, that one goes back on. And now I'm gonna wipe the mess I've made so far, just to keep the work area a little bit cleaner. Right. Now we're gonna put the clutch springs back in. The bolts. Put them diagonal like you tighten wheel screws all over on the outer basket, and everywhere else you gotta go one and one each side diagonally. It just puts even pressure and you'll have very less chance of leakage that way. Your seals will sit better. Okay, put these on. Alright, now I'm just hand tightening this with the power tool. Don't go nuts and torque it too much, because you can actually destroy the soft aluminum. Go super slow. That's it. Uh-oh, that was fast. That's what you don't want to do, guys. Okay. And now the next one. Okay, now these bolts are supposed to be, I believe, 9 Newton meters tight, but let me just check to make sure so I'm not giving wrong information and destroying people's property. 10 Newton meters, sorry, my apologies. They're not 9, they're supposed to be 10. Okay, now break out my torque wrench, and mine's in foot-pounds, so I gotta use the converter to change the values of 10 Nm to foot-pounds. Okay, it's supposed to be 7.37 foot-pounds. So let's go to 7 first. 6, 7, 7.37. So I'm just sticking right before 7.5. That's roughly 7.37. And where is the thing? Okay. Now we can torque these. And torquing's the same way, guys. First, then you go second, then you go diagonal again. Start at the bottom, go up top, go down below. There we go. That's done. I usually have a habit of turning the torque wrench back to 0 each time I'm done using it. Just saves the spring that way. You're not really putting too much pressure on the spring. All right, now this is done. The next thing to do is actually clean up the sludge. That's what I need to do. If you don't have the paper towel, use the rag. Gloves back on. Right. Now, to engage the clutch pin, not clutch pin, sorry, the clutch arm, you gotta make sure that the opening is completely free, and this will be usually facing backwards to have lesser problems later on. Okay. All right, put this on and then try to see gently. You can tell if your clutch is sitting right. It would not pull from here. I know this because I had installed the plates wrong way before. I didn't measure the thickness the first time when I checked them, and the clutch was just awfully loose. And that's something I learned from that to make it tighter, you will have to go in the correct order of your steel plates and the friction plates. So for now, let's get this back on. Again, we're doing the same thing, guys. Actually, sorry. Where is it? We're just gonna put them in their spots, but not torque them with this. We're gonna use a proper torque wrench to do the job here, because this thin aluminum casing takes even less torque. I think it's 7 Newton meters. Because you can strip the screws or even break the casing super easy, and then you really hoop, because you're gonna probably have to go to eBay to find these parts, because at least maybe in the States, they might have them at the dealership, but over here it's just a hard thing to find parts for these bikes right now. There you go. Now we just go 1 and 1. Okay, let's go up top. And you gotta remember, you gotta have specific bolts for the clutch basket cover, so you don't really put the wrong bolt on one side and then you're gonna have trouble later on, or maybe you'll strip it by accident. It doesn't take too long for things to go sideways sometimes. Okay, now we go this one up top here. Done with that. And now we go last one at the bottom. And now I'd suggest torquing them all now before you put the cover on, because otherwise you might forget the sneaky one at the back. So let's go back and check what's 7 Newton meters. Should be about 5 foot-pounds, I reckon. 7 Newton meters to foot-pounds. 5.16 foot-pounds is what you need on the outside. So it's supposed to be either 7 Newton meters or 5.16. So to go 5.16, I'll lock it. There's 5.16. Okay. There we go. See, it doesn't take that long, guys. These are supposed to be super slightly done. I think I did that before. Oh no, I did not. Well, I messed up my order. Actually, what about this guy here? I'll check them all now again. It's more. And now after the new clutch, you will have to readjust your clutch cable too, guys. And this one goes in afterwards. Look at your dowel pin, it's right there. So it's gonna fit in. This face goes on there. Go. Sit. Alright, now after doing that, we need 2 of these screws, or the screws again, 2 of these bolts. After we put the cover on, we need 2 bolts in here. 1. 2, and then go to 10 on the outside. Okay. Please like and subscribe to the channel, guys. I'm trying to do as many videos as possible to help my Triumph Tiger community. And I know there are a lot of videos already, but I just want to make it all a one-stop shop. So if you guys have a certain problem and you want to check it, you can just go to the channel and go to the channel and check it out and get her done. Okay. From there. So I believe this is supposed to be, that's the wrong one. Gotta take that one out there. And this is only because I have an engine protector as a separate one, guys. That's why I have to take those off and put them back on again. vice versa. Hang on. How did it go? Like that. Yep. That's it. So this one goes here. Oops. It's the stuff that I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to go harder on those, but right now I am in a bit of a rush to do the job. See, forgot again. I actually got to take this one out because there's another bolt underneath it that needs to be torqued. I gotta get my torquing in order. Same thing, 5.16 foot-pounds or 7 Newton meters. Alrighty, it's done. Let's get this one done. Okay, after that torquing is done, the last thing that's left is that timing case up top. Where the starter connects the timing case. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky one. My gaskets are still fine, guys, and I couldn't source out the new gaskets, so I have to go with these for now anyway. These grooves gotta match these grooves here, and this washer needs to stay exactly the same way. It needs to go in that hole. So, and then these gears have to connect to these smaller gears. So we got a few, actually no, the bigger gears gotta connect to that, smaller gears gotta connect to this. So it might be a bit of a funny fit in the beginning. You gotta wiggle it a bit until the gears actually click. Once they do, if they don't, look out for your washer, turn it a bit. Right, and they connect. Done. All right, same thing again. Tighten up and then torque it. Alrighty, the torque is still the same, 7 Newton meters and 5.16 foot-pounds. Remember, do not over torque these guys. You will be in a lot of pain otherwise, because you're gonna have to source out the casing or repair this. It's gonna go south quick, so just leave it loose. If you really need to tighten, you can always do it later, but stick to the specs and all works out. Okay, so this is it, guys. The clutch plates are back in, friction plates are back in. Now it's just a matter of putting this back on, and like always, there's always something that gets forgotten, and here's my mistake number one. I did not put the guiding piece for the clutch cable here. Come on. Oh. Okay, let's get this back on, guys. Here goes there. Alrighty, just adjust it correctly, because I personally think it needs to sit like this, so the cable is straight and over this. But okay, retorque that one. done. Now let's undo those bolts there, which is what, size 14, I believe. Nope, size 13. All right. Alrighty, that's in. And now what we need to do is take out those two bolts. Yeah, my apologies guys, that was a bit of a runaround. These two need to be tightened at the very last so we can actually put these ones in and get the clutch adjusted. Okay, one's in. Okay, second's in. Torque it. Alright, now it's time to adjust the clutch. You gotta see with the new plates, it's gonna be significantly tighter to begin with. So you gotta see where we're at with this. Alright, I'm gonna try to push the lever and see how it goes. Needs to be a bit more tighter. So to tighten this, loosen this one. Okay, I'm just gonna raise the tripod, guys, so you can actually see me working. Oh yeah. I've loosened the clutch quite a bit because then I can tighten it from here. Make this adjustment go perfect. Okay, that looks good to me. Yep, that does it, guys. Remove the slack. Perfect. Now the last step is to put the oil pan bolt in and pour in some fresh oil, and the job is done. If you like the video, guys, please subscribe, and I will try to make more and more videos and put the more content out there. If you have a certain problem or certain thing that you wanted addressed, please let me know, and I will try to make the video on your issues or your upgrades that you're looking for. Thank you. Have a great day.